How are we doing there, boys and girls? Good morning. Somebody says, a little birdie once told me that there is work orders to test. And when I mean a little birdie, I mean 7 million people in Discord. How are you all doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Welcome in. Hope you're well. Who we got here this morning? Nether Mage, of course. Welcome in. Good morning. Hurricane. Not Dammy Low Phalo. What a name. Welcome in. How we doing? Good morning to you. Mr. Norton, good to see you. We got some work orders to test, I think. We got some work orders to test. Hopefully the crafting side's up and running, from what I can gather. So it's been a bit busy in there, yeah. Yeah, the for my friends on the other side of this supposed globe we live on, you guys keep the Discord pretty active while I'm in bed. I had a lot to catch up on this morning. Work orders are available on Coronos. Don't go over to Tierhold. Oh, they're available on both. Oh, that's good. That's good. That means I've actually got characters that we might actually be able to do something with. Let's have a look. Can we find anything on the go with this dude? Although he's a bit scuffed, this character, to begin with. I might finish leveling up my other hunter today. We might finish leveling Ranthius. I think it's needed. A fresher level 70 on the test realms, I think, is needed. Let's give you guys some in-game sound. There we go. Whoa, FPS is in the bin. What's going on here? Can we get some, is it control R? Where's, oh, FPS indicators down here nowadays. Oh, I like that. Having the FPS indicator smack bang in the middle of your screen was always hella annoying. Oh, I might leave that up if that's the case. Might just leave that switched on. What are the boots that give 5% CC reduction? I have no idea. That sounds like a PvP thing. That doesn't sound much like a me thing, unfortunately. Who makes boots? I mean, practically everybody makes boots. It could be leatherworking, I'm not sure. In fact, no, I don't even know. Not a clue. Everybody will want them. Are they going to be BIS for PvP then, I guess? I suppose, yeah, 5% CC reduction is always going to help. Right, so these fellas, by the looks of things, if everything is gone to plan, we click on this and it starts to say things. Hey, okay. Start recrafting. Oh, I'm very intrigued about. I'm almost more interested about recrafting than I am anything else. Weapons, armor, containers, consumables, trade goods, profession equipment, battle pets, and miscellaneous. Okay. Let's, can we, okay. So we've got the Sophic Amalgamation. I believe that's the enchanting pet. Quack E. Jeweled Sapphire, Jeweled Ruby, Jeweled Onyx, Jeweled Emerald, Jeweled Amber Whelpling. It's a bit odd that these things are going to be, because if I understand it right, these pets are actually cageable. So putting in a work order for one seems a bit odd. Why would you put a work order in for something that's going to be on the regular auction house for a fraction of the price? If I want an Alvin the Anvil... Okay. They've really not done much to the UI, have they? Oh, a blacksmithing recipe. Earthen Soul. Treacherous Soul captured from a powerful elemental foe with Zap Throttle Soul Inhaler crafted by engine. Okay, well there's the first dumb thing. Oh no, please don't not like this, Blizzard. Not like this, Blizzard. Okay, maybe I've just beelined to something where I knew there'd probably be a problem. What professions do you have on this character? Herbalism and mining, so not anything constructive for testing, but I'll jump on one of my other characters to do some proper testing. Hope the doggo's feeling better. Yeah, the doggo is better. She's not in here right now, but the doggo's better. She had a... yeah, the quick PG version is my doggo had a slight stomach problem. Not last night, just gone, the night before, which is half the reason I didn't stream yesterday, because I was up most of the night, and so slept when I should be streaming. Okay. So, bind-on pickup reagents have to be provided. I like the fact that it gives a really strong indication that, boom, you have to put this thing in. Yet, you then get given the choice to supply the others. You do not have enough of this reagent to provide. Okay. You can choose the quality that you put forward. I wonder if it's going to give players any indication that putting higher quality materials will give them a better chance of making a better thing, although it makes no difference on this, but okay. Note to crafter. Oh dear. Note to crafter. Do not craft this. What I really want is a spectral tiger /PST. Is it going to just end up being a notice board? I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to find loopholes. Commissions. Defaults at 0 commission. Love that. Love that. View similar orders. Oh! Haha! Okay, that's quite clever. That might give us some hope of some meaningful commissions. Hang on, we don't need quite so much dramatic tunes. This might provide some... Obviously, when it comes to testing, this is not really going to be a thing. But at least this... Okay. I guess this is going to give people a better indication of what their chance is to have the order filled. If you... Now, this is something else that I... This is something that I tend to feel is a nice... This is wishful thinking. That's the right word I was looking for. This is wishful thinking. The likelihood of there ever being a substantial amount of outstanding orders, I find it so hard to believe that there will ever be outstanding orders. Because that's not how this game has ever worked. There is always a surplus of people able to craft something. Always. On practically every realm. Now, on the smaller, on the tiddly little realms where only 5 people play on, maybe, but nobody cares about those. Sorry if you happen to be somebody that's on a small low pop realm. Blizzard doesn't care about low pop realms. The player base doesn't care about low pop realms. Developers don't care about low pop realms. Because you are less than a fraction of a fraction of the player base. The majority of the player base is on full pop servers. Now, on a full pop server, is there ever going to be a situation where there's outstanding orders? And yeah, see, this is the thing. Maybe if the commission does not reflect the materials that the crafter has to provide, there could be an outstanding order. Well, true. True. If this is the complication of people providing some of the materials and not the rest of them. I wonder what it's actually going to show here. If I, for example, put just 10 and we go 12 out. Oh, no, I can't do this one because there is actually a material I have to provide that I don't have. Is that true for all of these? Glisming. See, this is really dumb. Okay, well, I should be careful when I say this is really dumb. This is just something that's likely to be a polishing thing, right? So these glimmering Nosderite clusters, you only find these if you're a jewel crafter, to my understanding. Now, obviously then, if you're not a yeah, okay. Let's stop trying to find loopholes and let's try and find something that's Quack modulator. That's made by engineers, I think. All right, let's go for something a bit more simple. Can we order bags? Oh my lord, we can custom order all the bags. That has to be... Will it become bind on pickup once the order's fulfilled? Oh, we're going to have so much testing. Found one in a treasure chest. Don't think I had jewel crafting when I found it, but can't be 100% certain. Oh, okay, fair. Custom order some random old vanilla profession bag. Well, unfortunately, it only works for Dragonflight stuff. At least for... Well, I mean, we don't even know if it works for Dragonflight stuff yet. But their plan of action is for it to only work for Dragonflight stuff to begin with. But for those who are looking to fulfill a whole bunch of orders really quickly... fulfilling orders on... Well, yeah. Personal orders. Send me 500 orders for Wildercloth bags so I can fulfill them all really quickly and get 30 plus knowledge points. Thank you very much. 0 commission zone leads. Okay. I'm already finding loopholes. This is fun. Okay, the big boy stuff we can order as well. What about something that has quality attached to it? What if I want a piece of gear? What if I want a all... Oh, we can order Trailblazer gear as well. Oh, what are these? Oh, screenshot time. Screenshot before this disappears. Go. Using higher quality reagents will help the crafter make your item at a higher quality. Click to change which quality will be used. Okay. That's good, but I wonder how many people will read it. Optional reagents let you customize your item. Adding an optional reagent may cause the quality of your item to decrease. That's ambiguous. I know why it might cause it to decrease, but somebody placing an order is not going to. How is somebody going to correlate that using an optional... How? Okay, that's not very clear. It should be that adding an optional reagent will increase the difficulty of a crafter to produce this at higher quality. You know, this is saying the same thing in less words, but because they've used less words, it's less clear. They should actually tell you what the thing is here. It doesn't necessarily... This isn't strictly true. Using optional reagents may not decrease the quality of the item. It just makes it more difficult to craft at higher quality. That's... yeah, that's misleading. just so that they can fit it in a box. But okay. Provide some scales, We can throw a matrix in there. See, it even says here, look, plus 20 recipe difficulty. That means nothing to somebody filling an order. What do you mean 20 recipe difficulty? Okay. Plus 60 ref. This is making the assumption that people understand how crafting works to place an order for a piece of gear. That's an unnecessary or an unrealistic expectation to make of somebody placing a crafting order, that they also know how recipe difficulty affects the final result. Now, they could have made that more simplistic if they mentioned the recipe increases the recipe's difficulty to craft. If they said that in the little help icon, that would have been better. Okay, so you can place an order, blah blah blah. You can send it to. I like. Where's guild? Where's guild orders gone? Are guild orders now not going to be a thing? Is it going to be public, or is it just going to be public or personal? Is it just going to be either or? Guild counts as personal, I think. Maybe you have to be in a guild, or that's also another possibility. Is there anybody on the beta right now? Can somebody invite me to a guild? In fact, don't do it on this character. It's pointless doing it on this character. Let me log on to Ranthius. Ranthius is the character that's actually got professions. It does make sense that the option for guild wouldn't be there if you're not in a guild. Dug around a bit in the work order code. The error to not claim your own seems to be only per character, indicating that you can log on to another one of your own characters and fulfill the order, you mean? Even on, you know, WoW 1 account. Crafting orders. Orders remaining. Public. Ah! Haha! Somebody's offering big commissions. Big commissions on some bows. Oh, so actually, reagents, none, some. Oh, so you hover over it, look, and it shows you what materials have been offered. So there's a Vorquin horn and a tier 3 resilient leather being supplied for the making of this bow. Consortium's going to take 25,000 of the gold. Okay, I would need to provide the runed writhe bark. Of course I would. So this reagent was provided by the order. 2 of these have been provided by the order. Used best. Okay, it indicates that I would expect to make this at quality 5. I don't have a runed writhe bark. I don't want to accept this and then it go wrong. Is there, out of curiosity, what is the chance? What is the chance that a runed writhe bark is available in here?
Do you seek knowledge?
Yep, didn't think so. Okay. What about the floral basket? So the hock and boom was supplied. I would need to supply the resilient leather. I would need to supply the dense hide. And a 1,200 gold commission was supplied to me. So this is where I would need to then say... This button doesn't seem to... Okay. I don't seem to be able to change these. This button doesn't seem to work. Oh, I might need to... Oh, no, hang on. Is maybe... Oh, this was provided. Oh, and this is an indication to what I have. So this goes to show what I could make this at. I could make one of these at quality 4 with the materials that I have. The weird thing is for public orders, why would you make the best quality ones for public orders? This is another downside, I think, of public orders. There is an incentive for crafters to use the worst materials possible for filling crafting orders. Which is only going to incentivize yet worse commissions to come through. So I could accept this order. Once this order is started, you will have 30 minutes to fulfill the order. Okay, so now I've claimed that as an order. Now I have a create button that's popped up. Can I now switch and change around the materials I use? I only have rank 2s, and I only have rank 2s. So I don't get the Hockenbloom in any way, shape, or form, do I? I don't have Hockenbloom in my bags. I don't have any of the Hockenbloom. I was not given the materials. I guess this is why you have to be at your crafting benches to do this. So that the materials that are provided to you on that crafting order, on your current crafting order, the materials that have been provided to you are just kind of, you know, they're in the nether somewhere. It's going to be interesting to see what resourcefulness does, though. The problem being is I don't have any of it. But what's going to happen on resourcefulness? Maybe resourcefulness can then only proc on the materials that you provide and not the materials that they provide. Okay. So, craft. Order complete. Did I gained experience from doing that. Somehow I dinged. How much experience did I gain? Congratulations, you reached 66. Some artisan's metal from your new knowledge. First time crafting. Oh, okay, that was the first time I crafted a floral basket. Alright, sure. Okay, so now I've got it. I can put an order in. So the order's been complete. I've got 29 minutes to claim it. This is quite interesting. The fact that they give it the recraft option is here. This is where let's say a personal order comes in and the personal order is requiring a rank 5 one. I can make rank 5, but I can only make rank 5 on an inspiration proc. So when I make one using their materials, if it this is going to be interesting. What happens then when it only procs rank 4 and they've requested rank 5? Oh, there's still lots of questions, isn't there? But I could then go, oh, you know what? This isn't quite high enough to fulfill the... I can then do a recraft on it. I can spend some artisan's metal. Maybe I use better quality materials. I would then need to supply some spare Hockenbloom. Okay, the emphasis goes back on me. This feels a bit... For a personal order... Sorry. This makes a bit of sense for a personal order. But it doesn't make any sense whatsoever for a public order. So cancel recraft and then just complete order. Okay. Did anybody spot whether I gained gold then? I should have paid some attention. But now my orders remaining is down to 29. You can currently fill 29 more public orders. 24 hours remaining until more orders are available. So each order fulfilled seems to have its own unique 24-hour cooldown attached to it. Okay. The provided mats and crafted item are not going into your bags. They're automated. Yeah, see, this is why I think that they've made it so that you have to do this at the order station. So that let's just say the materials that are provided are in the cloud, per se. You're at 11 something before, now you're at 12. So, okay, so I did just get the gold. Boom, straight in my bags, job done. Okay. Sure. Check your personal orders at the bench. Oh, nice. Okay. So with personal orders, we have an order for some trailblazoned toughened grips. Now, somebody's requested these at quality 2. Fellhorn has requested these at quality 2. It's interesting to see that this works cross-realm already. So these have come in. Owen Norton is in the house testing private work orders. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. Both the materials have been provided. The order has a minimum quality requirement of 2, which I can easily adhere to. It's your lucky day. You're going to get one at quality 5. Merry Christmas. If I'm happy with all of this, I can simply go start order. Time remaining 30 minutes for me to complete it. Now I can flip about. Let's just check that I could run away. I could go to the auction house and get some spare materials if I needed. I could fly over to somewhere else to craft something if there was restrictions for me to do that. But then I can ultimately come back here, check my current crafting order. It only shows your current active order. And once I've acquired all the materials, which in this case, they were supplied to me, so it's all good. Now I can go create. The item is made. Bish, bash, bosh. We made a... This is going to be interesting. Are you about to only get a quality 2 version? Let me know if you only got a quality 2 version. If you can, drop a screenshot in the Discord or DM me. I want to see what you actually got. Did you only get a quality 2 or did you get the full quality 5 version that I was able to make? How many knowledge points can you get by work orders per day? There doesn't seem to be... It doesn't strictly work like that. There's a quest. Let me see if I can find the quest. There is a quest to fulfill. You see here, leatherworking services requested. There is a quest to fulfill 5 work orders. And that will give you 3 knowledge. But this is considered a weekly quest, I think. Yeah, leatherworking services requested. This is a weekly. Is the customer informed that crafting is in progress? What happens if the customer cancels the order after it has been accepted? They're little ins and outs that I don't have answers for. They're weird and wacky edge, what we consider an edge use scenario. So I don't know exactly. But okay. So I have another request here that's come through. This one doesn't seem to provided all of the reagents. No restriction or no requirement on quality. So leaving it up to me to do the best job I can. I've heard from a friend that you can craft very fashionable leggings. This is maybe the first work order of many to come. If I do a good job and gain myself a good reputation, we absolutely need Crafter.io. Crafter.io needs to be a thing. What is your reputation? What's your Crafter.io score? Okay, start order. Materials were provided. There's nothing more I need to add onto this. Boom, Creato Mundo. Bingo. You have yourself a quality 5 pair of legs. Please leave a positive rating on crafter.io. Many thanks. Complete order. Boom. There we go. You need crafter.io just to find out who can craft at rank 5 mythic gear. I jest about this, but somebody needs to make this website. Q5 is what I got. Screenshots loading. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so this is the perspective from the other side. So we can see here, once you receive the order, comes through the mail. Trailblazer toughened grips, quality 5. Oh, where's the crafted by Ranthius tag? It needs a crafted, and it comes through as bind on equip still. Crafter.io is available for buying. If I had the expertise, I'd make it, but I don't. So this is interesting that it's coming through as bind on equip. You could then feasibly then just resell it. Is this going to be where we're going to see bait orders coming through? People are going to bait people into crafting stuff for cheap just to fulfill a work order to then only go and try and resell this on the, because of course if your quality, but then again there's no guarantee that you're going to get the quality you expect. But then you could just resell a quality 5. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. That makes sense. I'm quite impressed that you've got 125,000 gold already on the beta. Asadrak there. So I don't know where you got that from, but fair play. Goblins do goblin things, right? I sent another screenshot. What have we got going on here? So then we have artisans. Oh, it comes from the Artisans Consortium. Order filled. So the fulfilled by Ranthius. There we go. There's the item commission paid. Okay. So at least it's fulfilled by... You can see who fulfilled it. When there's crafter.io, then raiders will actually pick up crafting because they just like to be at the top of league tables. You're probably right. And it's still bind on equip. Oh, well, that's interesting then. Then there'll be real money transactions after that. No need for tips. Just pay $3 on crafter.io. Missing comment. I didn't actually leave a comment on this one. I left the comment on the other order. Alright, okay, that's quite cool. Well, it works. The system, you know, the system in principle works. And I use the phrase in principle because my thoughts here are along the lines of, just because it works in principle, does it mean it works in practice? My question is, what is going to be the desire of the average player to use this? And once you understand what the desire of the average player to use it is it also going to be simple enough to actually use? Are work orders all from other players and not from an NPC? For example, I wonder how popular this system will be. They are all from other players, but that's a very good thought. Do we suspect that Blizzard themselves could simulate fake crafting orders just to make the system feel more popular than it is. Is that maybe something that they might have to develop for lower levels, for lower population servers, where there just might not be any work orders ever? I doubt Blizzard would do it. They want to get gold out of the game, not into it. Well, who says they need to come with any commission? This is the thing. Commission is one of those things that is still optional. It does still say orders remaining 29, which is good. This means that we can now clarify that the personal orders don't come from this quota. The 2 personal orders I filled, the 2 personal orders have not come from this. Only when I did that public one did it pull from this. So now we have a Trailblazers Toughened Coif that is requested at quality of 5. No scales had been provided, meaning I could choose to use my quality scales or my better quality scales or not better quality scales. Now I can, even with quality 2 by the looks of things, fulfill a quality 5, which is nice. Another work order for you, my man, with the biggest tip for the previous quality 5 craft. Is that how we think it's going to go? Okay, so now we start order. Now I get the ability to choose. Okay. I'm going to deliberately use dogshit level quality materials just to try and simulate what happens when I don't make the item. No, okay. You are going to have to guarantee. This answers a big question. This is really good. This answers a big question. You are going to have to guarantee the quality of the craft. So here, for example, only quality 2 adamant scales were provided to me. I can choose to use whichever quality of lustrous scales I need to. If I use quality 1, you can see it's only going to craft it at quality 4, and all of a sudden, this button disappears. This order has a minimum quality requirement of 5. So if somebody wants to put in a quality 5 order, you as a crafter are going to have to be able to guarantee a quality 5 on that craft. Now at 58 skill, I'm 2 skills short. So I would ask to fulfill this order, if I want these 50 bags, I would have to use higher quality materials so that I can guarantee the quality here. What I cannot do in any way, shape or form is adjust the quality of the materials that's provided. So there may, in theory, this is also going to make it complicated, right? Because if somebody wants a higher quality item and they do this, if they only provide you mid-tier quality materials, there is the possibility that when you start pushing the upper limits of this, that this order just may not physically be possible. It is in this scenario, but let's say somebody wanted a 418 mythic quality item, quality 5. They wanted everything, balls to the wall, right? And then they only go and provide you some of the basic materials at low quality. You can do nothing to change this. But then again, if people put in orders that aren't possible, it's not possible, right? Inspiration is useless. It can still give a better version than what you might have asked for. Like he asked for quality 5 but gets quality asked for quality 4 but gets quality 5 instead. Yeah, inspiration pretty much is for your own gear only in that regard. That seems to be the case in this situation. But it's really handy to see that this, you physically cannot press the button if you cannot guarantee the quality that's been requested. So you may have scenarios like this where you look at an order, somebody sees a 50,000 gold order and they're like, fuck yeah, I want that money. Give me that bread. They take the order and then there's nothing that they're able to do Maybe because their skill's not high enough. Maybe because the quality of the materials that was provided was too low. There may just be scenarios where you physically cannot do anything and you have to cancel the order. You have to admit defeat. It would be nice, for the purpose of testing, I am going to cancel this one, purely because I want to see what happens when I do. What would be really nice is if you can send a message when you cancel an order. No, you can't. Although the order hasn't actually technically been cancelled, it's still there. Okay, I need to make notes. Okay, notepad. Crafting orders. So. I'm not going to make this neat and tidy. I'm just going to brain dump. Would be nice to leave a message on a cancel as to why you had to cancel it. E.g. Skill too low to fulfill, or mats too basic. That makes sense. It would be nice to leave a message on a cancelled order as to why you had to cancel it, e.g. skill too low to craft or mats too basic. Obviously that's only in the case of a personal order. You could then just, whisper them and explain why, and that's kind of the point of the personal orders, right? That they're personal. They're Did you take the order and then cancel it? I did, yeah. Did you not get any indication your end that had happened? No notification received, and I don't know what's happening with my order. Where is my order? Your crafter.io score has decreased as a consequence of cancelling an order. Yeah. In a weird way, crafter.io needs to be a thing. 50k gold minus I paid already. This is a good question, actually. Does when you leave a commission, do you have to put forward the commission, right? Surely you must have to put forward. You've already paid 50k. There's 50,000 gold in the nether, right? I can take this back up again, though, so I can now start this order again and be like, you know what? I'm a better crafter today. I've had my coffee. I've decided that I'm going to nice you, and I'm going to use higher quality materials to fulfill your order. And I'm going to click create. My bank balance is going to go up by 50 bags. Okay, order complete. I haven't got the gold yet. It's your lucky day. I went over and above to craft this for you. You now owe me big time. Complete order. Boom! 50 racks. He gets his bit of gear. Job done. Now, how impactful do you think streamer privileges are going to be in this scenario? Right, I need to make a poll. How many of you guys are all on the same realm? That's what my stream title. If I'm just going to move to Draenor. We're going to go to Draenor. I'll go to Draenor and I'll just, stream title. Crafting on Draenor for free. Getting the private orders is what's going to make you the money. Absolutely. I could fulfill private orders all day long. All day long. We're lucky it's limited to 30 orders a day. Imagine typing this stuff up for thousands of orders a day. Maybe. Just got beta access, didn't get an email. There'll have been a new wave of invites for beta gone out. Don't wait for emails. Emails are slow. Just check your battle.net launcher. There'll have to be a tool for a database of who can actually make the sick items. Well, there is actually. If you can see this in retail right now. If there's anybody in your guild that can craft something, you can now see that through the guild system in retail. Somebody pointed it out on Discord last night that you can actually. It now shows you who all your crafters are in the guild, and also breaks it down as far as to what they can and can't craft. So you'll be able to, if you're within a guild, you'll be able to find through that interface who to send the order to, I believe. Or what will ultimately happen is, I would imagine, I can go /2 want to set if I have. I imagine if I link my profession, is profession linking still a thing? /2 want to sell leather working crafts. Can you? Yeah. I can link a profession in trade chat, and I would presume then somebody could click on that, and it's showing what I as Ranthius can make. Now what it doesn't do is show the maximum quality that I could craft something at, but it is showing people what it is I can make. So linking your profession in trade chat is going to be a big thing for hoovering up personal work orders, I would imagine. And then somebody can just, put in a personal work order, whisper you, whatever. Still curious about selling BOEs. Can I just put up 100 orders for those grips and then just sell them on the auction house? In theory. The question will be, though, is will those orders get fulfilled on the public order place? Because people filling public orders have a quota, right? They can only do 30 a day. Okay. They will in the beginning to get points. There's two scenarios where people might fill work orders just because. One is for this quest. People are going to be incentivized to just do 5 work orders every week, regardless, just to complete this quest. But this is 5 a week. Doesn't really make a huge difference, right? 5 a week is no biggie. The other reason would be is if somebody gets a skill point by crafting something. So here, for example, Pioneers Practiced Cowl, Trailblazers Toughened Coif. These are 2 recipes that if I craft these, I have the chance of gaining a skill up point. This is where you would probably search for work orders. Because you would rather fill a work order for one of these things to get the skill point. So, is there any reason for a daily limit? A daily limit to a degree? Yes and no. Yeah. What it does is it keeps it's a bit gatekeeping, but the reason for this kind of means that as you progress as a crafter, your focus for fulfilling public work orders is going to be on the higher tier stuff. Your focus is going to be filling 30. I would much rather fill 30 work orders for top end mythic pieces of gear where the commissions on those are much higher. And what it means is then once I've done 50 orders, then it means everybody else who hasn't got as much expertise as me can still fill orders for the more basic, lower paying stuff. Otherwise, what's to stop me just filling every single work order for everybody? The greedy goblin in me obviously would not want this to be a thing, but I understand why Blizzard has integrated it. But like I said, if I want to go hardcore greedy goblin mode and I want to do this all day long, I build myself a reputation and I go bananas and I fill a 1 million gold one of these. I need to provide... Edward Norton is back. I would need to provide the Infurious scales for this, which I don't have the ability to do, and it needs to be quality 5. There's no way... This is interesting, actually. This is another good example to showcase that I physically cannot select this, or you have not learnt this recipe. You can't select things for when you don't have the recipe. It's weird that the decline order is still there. Surely that should work the same as back. Here's a lovely 1 copper commission. Lovely 1 copper commissions. Materials have been no materials are provided. No materials provided. No materials provided. So what you would probably do is you'd filter like this. You would can you filter? What you can't do is easily filter here. It would be nice to filter out anything that you can't actually craft, because all I did here is just click search. You're going to have to practically go through and say, right, okay, this might give me a skill up. There's a work order for it. A personal work order, I should say. I can do this, start the order, 10 of these, 2 of these, no requirement on quality, so screw using best quality materials, you're getting cheap shit. You're getting cheap, oh, okay, that's the cheapest stuff I have. Create. Boom. Crafted by Ranthius. Is a 50k tip minimum. Complete order. Boom, off it goes. That's also then means that I've completed this quest for the week. My leatherworking skill increased to 58 as well. So, yeah, this is what you're probably going to do. You're going to be, when you're going to be constantly hunting for work orders to fulfill on stuff that gives you skill ups, and you might as well use all of your work order budget, because otherwise you're leaving money on the table. Are the crafting orders region wide or server only? Server only, I would suspect. The reason, okay, there's no reason here. If the realms are connected realms will work just like connected realms do on retail right now, but they won't be totally region wide. When you do the YouTube video, please mention the 50k tip. Saves us teaching the raiders what the market tip is. Are we happy that 50k is the market tip, is it? Okay, sure. Does the NPC that talks about the work orders still talk about how expiring orders do not count to the limit? I don't know. Disconnected. It's a good start. Okay. A fixed 50k tip. Gear 50k. Bags 50k. Look, if you want that, you know, made by tag to say the right name. Okay. Okay. Is my character bricked? Let me try this fella. How are you feeling about work orders, or is that still to be decided? Well, the system's in. The system's in, and the system works. Hey, look who it is. The system. That's also very interesting. I wonder if I can fulfill work orders for the opposite faction. Okay, bouncing around a little bit here, but you have previously crafted equipment recrafted. You can have previously crafted equipment recrafted to change the optional reagents or attempt to raise the quality. Click to select the item to recraft. Naming your character Gucci will pay off. Crafted by Gucci, yeah. You do not own any suitable... Okay. Well, that really stopped me in my tracks, didn't it? Place order. I want... What do I want? I want a better bow. If I want a better bow, I want to go weapons. I want a ranged bow. In fact, I don't even care if it's a bow. I just want a ranged weapon. What if I want one of these, one of these, one of these, or one of these? Well, I'll put in an order for one of these. Engineering recipe. I can do personal order, public order. As soon as I select public order, all of the options disappear for quality. Public order. What if I just want one of these? I'll supply the ceravite ore. I'll supply the best quality ceravite ore. Best quality money has. I'll even give you the rousing fire. Best I got. And I'll slap on a Titan training matrix to make it higher item level. Boom. Just give me the best, man. Give me the best. 25,000 gold. I'm spending big bucks today. Spending big bucks. Right. Posting fee, 5 gold. So Blizzard are going to double dip us. They're going to take 5% of this. And they're going to take 5% of this. Sure. Boom. Your order has been placed. You can view or cancel your order. Your crafted items will be sent in the mail once the order has been fulfilled. Can I in any way, shape or form... So now I can see the orders that I've placed. I can refresh the list. Can I click on... Order is listed. Is there any other status I can get for this? Not yet claimed. So if somebody claims it, I presume I will then see this. I see it and I'm Horde. Oh, so it works cross-faction already then. I would hope that to have been the case. Do you get the posting fee back if fulfilled, similar to the normal auction house when sold? I don't know. Let's see if anybody claims it. Can work orders be placed on any craftable item? What about bind on pickup? Yeah, that's kind of the big point. That's the big benefit, that you can order. You could order bind on pickup stuff. So if I mean, obviously I would, I put in an order for one of these because, oh, guess what? Yeah, sure, I'll have one of those. But what I really want is I want one of these. I want one of these monstrously top quality things. I have to provide the Spark of Ingenuity. I have to provide the Primal Chaos. Well, lucky for me, I do have those. I can provide those. I don't feel the need to provide any of these others because I don't have them. I do not have any Primal Infusion. Oh. Do I have a Primal Infusion? How do I have a Primal... Do I have a Primal Infusion? Hello? Primal Chaos? Eh? None available. Apparently I have a Primal Infusion. I have genuinely no idea where I got that from. But apparently I've got one all the same. If I had missives, I could request that. If I had embellishments, I could request that. I need to check. Is that in my bank? What I'm more concerned about is how in the hell did I get one?
It is good to see you here.
No, I don't have one. A reagent bank? Oh! I do have one. How the flippity do... Oh, I tell you what. I think I know why I've got one of these. I think I've got one of these from very, very early on in the beta. Very, very early on in the beta, you could just take 100 Primal Chaos and convert it into one of these. And I think I probably just did it. And now apparently I have one. Huh. Magic. Well, there we go. So I do have one. That's also good to know that even though it's in my reagent bank, it was allowing me to put it forward as a reagent in an order as well.
Looking for something in particular?
Okay. Weapon. Did you get the gun? I fulfilled the order. I do have mail. You have mail.
These goods will serve you well.
Order filled. Pew ×2. I need to remember to screenshot a lot of this because I'm going to need these later. Order filled. Filled by. Cheers. Commission paid. Report player. Report player. Scammed. Scammed. Item comes through as bind on equip. Quality 3. I'll take quality 3. Report player. You have unclaimed items from this player. You will lose all of the items if you report this player before claiming them. Oh, well, okay. I'll take that first then. Oh, and then the mail disappears. Okay, so you can't yoink it and then report them. You could do that to find out who your other... Imagine that, right? What you do is, if you're a leather worker, you put work orders for high quality leatherworking goods. You get them filled by those other crafters so that you find out who's your competition, and then you report those motherfuckers. Get rid of your competition that way. I know that's totally against terms of conditions. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh, that's funny. Do professions require level 70s, or is it like in Shadowlands where you can start crafting the moment you get to the Dragon Isles? You can get going the second you get into a level 58, I think you can pick up the professions. Only joking, hint, hint. Craft a drama, lol. Takes a real goblin to come up with real goblin ideas. But now, though, now it's soulbound, look. Now it's soulbound. That, once I claim it from the mailbox, boom, soulbound. Screenshot that shit. It's soulbound because you use the Matrix. Oh. Oh. Okay. Poo. Alright, sure. Yeah, okay, that was my bad. Well, either way, I got myself a weapon upgrade. Can I now do a recraft order? Start recrafting order. Put the thing up for recraft. I can provide my artisan's metal. Recrafting may result in the quality of your item going down. I mean, that's a really, really good way of killing this system before it even begins, right? You ain't net what? Why? Recrafting is just, you are just never going to have public recrafting orders then, are you? Public recrafts is just dead on arrival if this is the case. Let's do it. Public recrafting. If quality can go down, it's going to be dead on arrival. What is interesting, though, is that I can choose to, or more importantly, choose not to supply my artisan's metal. This was one of my biggest questions for this entire system. When it comes to artisan's metal, even though it's a bind-on pickup reagent, it's the exception to the rule with bind-on pickup reagents. Public recraft to add embellishments might be a thing, but that doesn't seem to be an option. Well, it won't on this because you can't add an embellishment on this in the first place. If it was a piece of gear that qualifies for an embellishment to go on it, then maybe. Recrafting may result in the quality of your item going down. Yeah, that's... But you could send it to a specific crafter and say, Oi, bish, give me my quality 5 one. None of this quality 2 shenanigans. The irony being is that Okay, the tooltips are not working properly there by the looks of things. Or are they? I don't know. It's... Yeah, I think the tooltip doesn't work there. Because it's not taking into account this is being used. 359 to 369. 343. Oh, no, no, no. How can you trust if somebody has enough skill to do your personal work order? If they don't have the right skill, they can't accept it. Simple as. They can't accept the order if they cannot guarantee the craft. Can you not send orders to yourself, but on another character with the personal order? I can test that, actually. So let's say I want a armor, mail, search, some basic bitch, something that I know I can craft. I want one of the, I want one of these, the coifs, and I'm going to do a personal order to Ranthius, who is my alt. I want a quality 5 one because I'm a boss, and I'm going to provide nothing. Nothing whatsoever, and I'm going to throw one of these puppy dogs on it. No, I'm not. That's adding complications. Alt craft. Haha. No commission. So you you must provide a commission. Okay, sure. 1 copper. Place order. Alright, 1 silver. 1 silver commissions minimum. It's going to cost me 5 gold to have it crafted by my alt. Which I feasibly... See, the whole thing is ridiculous, because feasibly, I could just log on to my alt, craft it, and then send it in the mail. But this would be more better for bind on pickup stuff, you know, later on. Can't wait to see the 54 silver mailbox openings, yeah. So place an order. Boom. Oh, this is good. It shows my weapon is completed, commission that was paid, public order. Now personal order has gone out there.
A satisfactory arrangement.
Let's oh, I've just realised this character might be balked. Please don't be scuffed. Please, please, please don't be scuffed. Hey, we're back. Okay, why was I flying anywhere in the first place? I know why I was flying somewhere. I got asked the question whether leatherworking services requested. Boom.
Be careful out there.
250 rep for completing that, by the way. I have a question about the Artisans Consortium. What can I order? No, not that one. First, make sure you are a good representative of the Artisans Consortium and be courteous to your customers. Second, in order to be fair to other crafters of the Consortium, you can only fill a number of public orders per day, which we now know is 30. We want to be on top of the customer's needs, so if an order is about to expire, we won't count that against your limit. So that seems to be... That still seems to be the limitation, at least by the, you know... That's not to say that is actually how it is, but at least that's what's said by an NPC in the game. Doesn't mean it's coded that way. But now, technically, I should have a personal order from myself. Crafting orders, personal orders. I have a personal order from myself for a quality 5 craft. Nothing was supplied. 1 silver, which the consortium is still going to take 5 copper of. Sneaky motherfuckers. I have to be able to guarantee quality 5 to be able to make this. Luckily, I can guarantee quality 5, so I can take it. I can start that order. Now I need to do whatever I need to do to guarantee. I can't press the create button until it meets that requirement of 5. So I could choose to use, well, what if I use better quality adamant scales? Oh, well, that's annoying. It is bang on 60, but apparently bang on is not good enough. Okay, so apparently you need to not only meet the difficulty, you do actually need to supersede the exceed the difficulty. When I sub on YouTube, does it show on your other platforms, e.g. Discord and Twitch? No. Not for subs on YouTube, nor for follows on Twitch. If you're a YouTube member, or you're a Patreon or a Twitch sub, then it syncs through to the Discord. So I need to maybe then, can I use quality 3 adamant scales? I can use quality 3 adamant scales. That's a combination now that's good enough for me to make it at quality 5. Now I can click the button. Now this is where I'm going to introduce you to something that I've been working on that's nowhere near finished, but it's designed to help people figure out what this best combination is. My cheat sheet is going to come with, like I said, this is by no means finished in any way, shape or form. This is going to be a bit of a crafting calculator. It looks crazy complex right now, but if we zoom in on what we're crafting, a Trailblazer's Toughened Coif. Trailblazer, hang on, let me put in a freeze here. Trailblazer's Toughened Coif, this row here. So currently it costs us, what I've done, let me go back a step or two. What I have now in the cheat sheet is a global materials page. This global materials page is basically going to do one of two things. It's going to pull in the market price. It's going to pull in the market price of everything. It's going to do that through the TSM API. It's going to pull in the market price. It's going to give you the ability to override that price if you, for whatever reason, don't want to use what TradeSchoolMaster considers the market price for it. And it does this for each and every material individually. Also each qualities. So what I've just completely made up some of these numbers. Made up some of these numbers for what things could be valued at. What you can then do is you'll be able to tweak and play around with. Now this is a real real low level example, but it goes to show what you might use it for. Trailblazer's Toughened Coif has a crafting cost for me currently of 700 gold. Based upon, we can see the adamant scales we're using quality 3. If I change them to quality 1, and if I change, so the exact combination we have here, for example, is quality 3 scales. Hang on, that's not what I meant to do at all. How do I undo that? There we go. So we've got quality 3 scales at quality 3, and we have lustrous scaled hide at quality 1. That gives me a crafting cost of only 300 gold. I can tweak and I can play around with these options to see which is the cheapest way for me to make this. Now, obviously, the cheapest way to make it is quality 1 for everything. That's not even the right box. That's adamant scales. Quality 1 for everything is the cheapest way to make it. But I need to guarantee quality 5 for this order. So my option of quality 3 on the scales and quality 1 for the hide. Dense hide, lustrous hide. Quality 1 for the hide is giving me a cost of 300 gold. So then I can look and I can compare against what the commissions was, and I can decide whether it's actually worth me pressing this button or not. You would hope it wouldn't get that close to the line, but it absolutely will. Now, like I said, this is by no means a finished product in any way, shape or form. I put this together a few nights ago. And I know that it's a little bit complicated, but there's no way to avoid it being a little bit complicated, because it just is a little bit complicated. A little bit of, you know, tender loving care will make this a little bit easier to use. A little bit of styling will make it easier to use. And what I plan to do is these crafting costs in the original sheet. So if we go back to our leatherworking sheet, for example, what I plan to do is have like a crafting dashboard as such, which will showcase, maybe I can even build it into this patterns and locations thing. Maybe I can put an extra column. If we threw in an extra column here, we could throw in an extra column that could maybe be crafting price, maybe. I'm just thinking a lot aloud here, but... And what this could then do is this could pull in from that other sheet. So this, for example, we could go equals, and then we could say, right, well, the crafting cost is that. Boom. And then, hey presto, like magic, on the main sheet, you have the current crafting prices for each of the items for quick reference. Making an add-on to calculate all that would be a lot of work. I imagine it would be, which is why I don't suspect that there will be one anytime soon. But something like this, or just a dashboard that highlights, you know, what are the top what I can't easily do yet, because I haven't figured out how to do it yet, is do a comparison between your crafting price and what the market price for the given item is. The problem being is that the market price, there could be 5 different variations for the 5 different qualities, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that information from the TSM API, but either way, this is kind of work in progress, something to like what it might be. It's at this point I should probably turn around and state that, you know, my cheat sheet at the moment is in early access for people that want to have a little bit of a look at it before Dragonflight. If you're a Twitch sub, if you're a YouTube member or a patron of mine, the link for this is available in the Discord. But that's my theory anyway on it. Sort of. It can do some smart things, and I hope to get this same interface for all of the crafting professions. Hello, wife. Alrighty. Where do we get to? Well, yeah, okay. So that's kind of this is my thought, right? So when we get orders come through, when we get because there's nothing in game currently. There's nothing in the game that tells you what your crafting cost is going to be for this. I don't suspect that anytime soon an add-on is going to just magically appear that will give you an interface in-game to work with this. So I'm going by the theory, at least, that relying on spreadsheets to do some of the calculations for us will be the quickest and easiest use for it. But I think for materials, the quality is a different item ID. It is, yes. That's why I can quite easily track it at a material level through TSM's API. What I don't necessarily know if it's going to be as easy to do is to track the different variations of the end result. So the quality is just the item level in the end. Well, the TSM API doesn't track legendaries even, and that's basically the same thing, right? It's just an item level. But yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go too deep into that on stream, but there is reasons to why that may not be possible. But if nothing else, I want to be able to provide a solution that gives people at least semi-accurate crafting costs. If you at least know your crafting costs, then you can at least compare to what's in the auction house at the time and decide whether it's worth doing, or in scenarios like this, whether a crafting order is actually worth filling out or not. Is it going to cost you more to complete this than the commission provides? Now, obviously, in this scenario, it would, but do you get a message somewhere? Just became a YouTube member, but can't seem to find a link or anything. Also, the YouTube bot is a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow, the YouTube bot. If you DM me on Discord, I can look at it after stream. But now I can create this. The order's complete. Here you go, you cheap scumbag. Complete order. Boom, off it goes. Magic. Now, in theory, let's go look at my main character. We should have that in the mail. Basically meaning that in this scenario, you can fulfill work orders for yourself, which is woohoo! At least on the beta. Obviously, whether there's different restrictions that are put in place when the game goes live, we don't know. But Artisans Consortium, order filled, Trailblazers toughened coif. Here you go, you cheap scumbag. So the message does go through here. Fulfilled by Ranthius. Commission that was paid. If I take the item... Haha, okay. Yeah, the item does stay bind on equip. So in theory, I could now take this lovely quality 5 item and then just relist it on the regular auction house. Oh dear, okay. Sure. You must mention in your YouTube videos to leave a message when doing orders. It really brings the MMO aspect to life. Oh, I think people will. What stops the crafter from making the item and then not giving the item back and holding out for more gold? There's if you don't send it back, the game does it automatically once the time expires. So the worst thing that can happen is that it just takes, somebody has to wait 30 minutes. The game will just automatically send it back after the timer expires. With the new system, will it be possible to sit down and grind away on professions for hours, or are we rather limited by the 30 orders? Well, from what I've been able to figure out so far is that most of your professions, you get to about 50 points, which is, halfway. 50 out of 100 is roughly where you can get by just leveling your professions naturally. When you try and go past that, you are in work order territory at that point. If you're in work order territory, you feasibly need 50 points. But there's also the issue there is that you've only got 30 work orders you can fill a day, and I'm quite sure by the time you get to 70, 80, 90 points, you are no longer going to be guaranteed a skill up every time you fill a work order. So there isn't anybody that's going to be able to max a profession in more than a couple of days, I would imagine. Do the work orders look promising? I know you had some concerns initially. Are they still valid? Well, my concerns is on the perspective of usability for people who aren't crafters. I have such an in-depth knowledge of how the crafting side of things work. A lot of this makes a lot of sense to me. But what I do feel is that it may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people. If I am not really somebody that bothers too much about professions, which is arguably the reason to why I would use the work order system in the first place, if I did care about professions, I would know all of this and I wouldn't need the work order system because I could craft it myself. The work order system is there for people that don't want to be dealing with all of the crafting. They just want the crafter to do the crafting thing and they just get the bit of gear. So it needs to be as simple as possible for General Joe to just use it, right? Having an interface that looks very similar to the auction house is a really good start. You know, you can say, right, okay, well, I'm a hunter on this character. I want a piece of armor. Well, presumably then I want a male piece of armor and I can search. And now what it does is it showcases every single work orderable, e.g. craftable item in the game. Or available to me, I should say. What this doesn't do is... What's this? Deadline. I'll come back to this in a minute. What this doesn't do is tell me if anybody's actually able to make this thing yet. That's going to be a big frustration in the early days of the expansion. That how do I even know that there's a leather worker out there that can make this? How do I know? I guess you are going to have to find this out either by trial or error, by putting an order in and seeing if it gets filled. If it gets filled, great. But the question, from the frustration I would imagine is going to be when your order doesn't get filled. What happens when your order doesn't get filled? What's the scenario there? Like, I could say I want a pair of these Ancestral Dew drippers. I want a pair of these. I provide the materials here. I provide the bind-on pickup materials. No problems there. Job done. I'm not going to provide anything else. I want the crafter to provide that. I'm going to put... I can see similar orders. If there are already similar orders, I can see the commissions that are on those orders. Meaning that if I want my item theoretically crafted quicker and sooner, that I need to put in a higher commission than what's already here. This might do something to push the... See, what I suspect might happen is that in the early days, I'm talking like the first 2 weeks of Dragonflight here. In the first 2 weeks, there will very clearly end up being orders for things that are just not possible yet. People will want orders for items that are locked behind reputation that crafters don't physically have access to. What that might result in, and probably will result in, is that orders will start stacking up for those. And what will end up happening is that the commissions will probably start, you know, slowly but surely increasing on those items until the day that somebody unlocks that pattern, and then they can just fill the top 30, boom, instantly. This is why I've been saying for a while that the people who are first are the people that will make the gold. The very second that somebody learns that pattern, though, they could go through and they could hoover off the top 30 outstanding orders for that, and then they can come back the next day and take the next 30. Ultimately meaning that within a matter of minutes of people getting access to these patterns, there'll be nothing in this list. There'll be practically nothing in this list. Because soon as an order is outstanding for one of these, it'll get fulfilled. Somebody will do it. Because why wouldn't you? This is a hopeful wish by Blizzard that orders will stack up. You will only ever see stacked up orders, I would suspect, in the first 2 weeks of the expansion. Much past that, there will always be somebody that can make it, especially on the public, especially as a public order. There will always be somebody that can fill it. So this basically means you as a crafter, your prerogative, your desire, your goal as a crafter is to fill 30 orders a day and the 30 highest commission paying orders a day. That's your goal, obviously. That's going to give you the instant access to as much gold as you can possibly make in a day, right? And then obviously what you want to try and do, if you do specialize in something, if you are a well-established crafter in your guild, on your realm, you will then hopefully be able to get people to send you personal orders, which personal orders you can fulfill as many personal orders as you wish. But let me tell you now that the personal order, like neither of these systems is really going to be great for gold making unless you're the first person to unlock the recipe. The first person will hoover up those top 30 outstanding orders, and then everybody else can fight over the scraps. Is practically the way I feel about it. I have never ever thought that this is a system that's going to make people rich. This is a very good system for the intended purpose of getting people the items that they want. But the making gold side of it, not so much. People will make gold in the auction house. People will make gold selling because let's not forget, this is what I've been toying with. I know I'm probably not talking, if I could string a full sentence together, I know it would probably help people right now. But I've been weighing up two different strategies for Dragonflight. There's the strategy of, do you just become the best crafter you can possibly be, unlocking as many endgame patterns as you possibly can, fighting for as many knowledge points as you can get your hands on to become the best crafter at crafting gear and fulfilling work orders.
Together.
That is a valid option, and it's an option that I generally suggest that most people go down. For one simple reason, that if you specialize in something, you have the chance of being able to fill work orders for something first, where all the gold is. Your other option, Sierra, thank you very much for the prime, appreciate it. Your other option is to go the materials route. You could basically ignore all of this, and what you could instead choose to do is supply people with high quality materials. This is a strategy that will be a lot riskier, I feel. But if you can supply high quality materials, you're not only supplying high quality materials to your one realm, you could be supplying high quality materials to the entire region, which could end up being incredibly lucrative very, very quickly. Let's say, now, I don't know if players are going to do this, but let's say somebody goes to put a work order in, and they see that they only have to provide these, and they see that there's orders outstanding where none of the materials have been supplied. It may be in a order placing player's interest to buy some of these materials off the auction house. I shit you not, there will be a long boy standing here. Right here, there will be a long boy 24 hours a day. what you'll probably find is that people might start looking to actually buy some of those materials to give their orders a better chance to be filled in the early days. This is once again putting a lot of emphasis on orders stacking up, which I'm still not convinced will actually happen. But you may be able to give yourself a competitive advantage getting your order filled quickly by supplying some of these materials. And in that case, what I would kind of quite like to be is the person selling these materials, right? Selling these materials could also be the more lucrative way to go about it. There'll be a Longboy 24/7 if you happen to own the Longboy, but not everybody is that lucky, right? My strategy involves making 50 mil or so in the first 3 weeks and coming back for 11.0 in 2 years' time. It will require 5 characters, all with the same profession, 1 main crafter, 4 subtree specializations to support the main crafter. Well, it doesn't take a genius to work out what you're going for then. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, but I mean, I could guess with probably near 100% accuracy. Charging 10 gold per auction house transaction on my Longboy standing next to the work order station, maybe. But yeah, I do feel that actually selling the materials, selling the intermediate items, could end up being incredibly lucrative as well. Because like I said, for the one simple fact that you're selling materials not just to people on your realm, you're selling materials region-wide. And you will feasibly feel in the early days if that you could sell an unlimited quantity of these. For 250k an hour, I'll park my Longboy on your shard and put you on follow. That's I'll tell you what, like, that could be tempting. I might take you up on that. Is it possible to recraft personal orders with alts? Presumably. The recraft system, if we, hang on. Start recrafting order. Recraft my Trailblazers toughened coif that I just made myself. Personal order, send it back to Ranthius, my alt. Now, say a few days have passed, say my alt has got better at crafting these things. Could you send it back? It does look like you could. Oh, I did make it at quality 5 to begin with, though. But yeah, in theory, you could send it back to your same character to have it recrafted at a later date. You could also then choose whose artisan's metal you opt to use. This is going to be a big one, right? I'm going to pay out the nose to use other people's artisan's metal. I will categorically, when it comes to the profession equipment, right? Let's say I am a leather worker and I want my leatherworking tool, right? There's the Kazgarite leatherworker's knife. Let's say I want one of these. I will, without, see, no reagents are being provided and only 5,000. So you're somebody out there wants somebody to craft them using their art. See, I will pay out the nose. I will provide no artisan's metal. I will provide no materials, but you can have 100k. Boom. Like, how to make your item get fulfilled really quickly. Give somebody a boatload of cash. If you hand somebody a briefcase to use their artisan's metal, I'm sure you'll snag a few. You'll snag a few bargains initially. There is no way I'm using my own artisan's metal to craft tools if I can pay somebody for theirs. It's bananas to use your own bind on pickup reagents if you can get somebody else's. I think people are going to throw some money at it because they see BA waiting. Well, this is another thing, right? This is the problem, right? You can put 12 hours, you can put 24 hours, you can put 48 hours. But the reality is that people are impatient. And you get to showcase how impatient you are in this box here. You know, the bigger the commission you pay, the sooner you'll get that thing made. You could offer 1 gold and you could put it for 48 hours and just keep your fingers crossed that somebody fills it. But the likelihood of that happening is practically 0. There'll be a middle ground there somewhere. Can TSM automate orders similar to the sniping function? Truth be told, I don't have much confidence in TSM doing much of anything in the first patch of the game. TSM, you got to remember that is an add-on now that is so big and so complicated behind the scenes that it takes them often weeks, if not months, to catch up with any of the changes. Just like 9.0 when we had legendaries, it quite simply is going to take them a while to catch up, almost for sure. It's probably always going to be better to put 12 hours if you... well, this is it, actually. Yeah, because 12... Yeah, I don't know why you'd put 24 or 48 hours, to be honest. 24, I guess, makes sense because it gives a crafter an entire day opportunity to log on. But then again, you know, 12 hours... I don't know. Yeah, I don't really see why you would use longer durations here. As... You know, I want my piece of gear and I want it quickly. I just want it, you know. Why would I choose to have it listed for... This will be because people will be baiting for things. That bait orders will be on long durations just because they'll hope... It just means that they have to repost their bait auctions less frequently. Because I would imagine trade goods. What do we have? Oh, okay. The only trade goods it quotes is these. Consumables. The only consumables that are on here currently are illusions and the empty soul cages. No potions, no flasks, even though there are bind on pickup potions and flasks. Okay. Does that indicate that we are going to see a lot of alchemists? Some people don't play every day. For them, the longer work order duration might make sense. True. True. You might place your work order, you know, on a Friday evening and knowing that you've got raid on Sunday or something. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. People probably will. Weapons and armor is obvious. Cosmetics. Rhinestone sunglasses. See, a lot of these, there's going to be the only reason, right? There's going to be so many bait crafting orders. So many baiting crafting orders. Because what stops me? Why wouldn't I do this? Genuinely, why would I not just do this? This is why I wouldn't do it. Because it's going to cost you 20 gold to place a bait on all of these. Maybe that's why the minimum posting fee for a crafting order is 20 gold, is to prevent people from baiting. But let's say rhinestone sunglasses end up with a 10,000 gold market price. It's still worth me pressing this button and just hoping that some dum-dum comes and fills it for me. Very much like the, you know, one material at 400,000 gold situation we see in retail today. Your work orders do not matter. I have a black cherry and Coca-Cola Slurpee. I win. Black cherry and Coca-Cola. I suppose cherry Coke's okay. But it's a Slurpee? Sure. As a mat farmer... As a map farmer, worth rolling a few alts on dead servers as a way of taking advantage of the region-wide auction house, do you think? I don't know. I'm not convinced that material prices are going to stay that expensive for that long. And this is mainly because there's no significant demand for people to buy tens of thousands of materials in one go that I can see so far. You got to remember, in Shadowlands, materials stayed really buoyant in price for a long time because of legendaries. Truth be told, look how many materials went into making legendaries and how many materials people had to buy to level up legendaries. There isn't anything equivalent in Dragonflight that's going to keep the prices of materials high for a long time. Will going double gathering for the first week and then switching to crafting professions set you back too much? In the short term, it will set you back a lot. But in the long term, you won't notice any difference at all. I would put it in this perspective. If you only have, okay, I need to say this without it sounding like too elitist. If you have less than 1 million gold, let's put it this way. If you currently have sort of less than 1 million gold, it makes a lot of sense to just go double gathering, farm up as many materials as you can, and sell them to all the people that need them in quantities at the beginning. You'll double your gold in a few days if you take that approach. There is no better time to be farming materials than the first week of an expansion. The materials are needed by everybody to level professions. They're needed in great quantities by people planning for the raid coming out. Materials are at the highest price almost every single time at the start of an expansion. If you want to dedicate some hours, and it will be a lot of hours, if you want to dedicate some time to going out there farming, you'll have a world of, you'll make so much gold it will be disgusting from farming. But it's the same principle as always. If you put in the hours, you'll make the gold. If you want to take a week at the start of the expansion to just go hardcore gathering and then switch to crafting, you need to be prepared for the fact that you won't be anywhere near as competitive with your crafting adventure as you would as somebody that started with crafting week 1. For a couple of reasons. For the first reason being is that you'll have missed out on an entire week's worth of knowledge gain, which could be in the region of, well, we'll have to see how it plays out. But you could easily be 10 to 15, maybe 20 points behind in terms of knowledge, which is easily the difference between making something at quality 4 or making something at quality 5. Now, making quality 5 bits and pieces is where the gold will be. The gold will be made if you can do the thing the best. This is the entire way the system is being designed. It's designed so that those that specialize win. You chose to not specialize by choosing to farm first. So yeah, that's not to say that that's not to say that you won't make any gold. I'm just saying that if you really want to capitalize on crafting, you need to start with it straight away. But if you're happy just to do a bit of farming the first week, make a little bit of gold, and then dabble with crafting, then sure, that everything's viable in that scenario. But if you're strictly talking about being optimal, you need to be optimal from day one to be optimal, if that makes sense. Is the work order system on the beta? Yes, it's up and running right now. You can dabble with it, you can play with it a bit. That's what we're doing today. Does alchemy get work orders as well? Well, as it stands at the moment, alchemists... well, this is what you can order. You would assume that alchemy is going to provide consumables, but no. Alchemy is not going to provide potions, is not going to provide flasks by the looks of things. There's no consumables that are going to go through the work order system. They're going to be strictly a regular auction house experience. How that works with the bind on pickup potions and stuff, who knows? Who knows? The only other thing that you might, as an alchemy, be doing is making the trinkets. Alchemy stones. Yeah, there you go. There's the 2 alchemy stones. Alchemy, though, is far less reliant on the work order system anyway, because its leveling up process is a little bit different. You level up alchemy through a discovery system, and most of your leveling up of alchemy will actually be reliant on you speccing into your spec trees to unlock things like the decayed potions and vials, and to unlock the advanced research, the advanced discovery system, which every time you press the button gives you the chance of getting a level up. So alchemy is in a very different position to most of the other crafting professions. Can you send personal work orders to your alts? Yes. Yes. That's interesting. It doesn't look like you can put in a work order for a regular Dark Moon deck, only the fancy schmancy ones. Oh, Lord. Okay. This was what I was wondering. I was wondering whether there was going to be a requirement for somebody to provide the Dark Moon deck. And at the moment, there is not. There is no require. I wonder if you have a... See, this is one of those things that's going to be practically impossible to test on the leveling realms. I'm wondering if you buy a regular Dark Moon deck, and you've obviously equipped it, and it's soulbound, that then if you wanted to upgrade that to the big boy Dark Moon deck box, then you may not be able to. There's still a big question mark on how that's going to work then. Sad Bunny, I have to be away for 3 days on the weekend after the release, going to my sister-in-law's 60th birthday, so going to drop behind on my main. Nearly everything is being pushed to a weekly system anyway, so you can be away from the game for a few days without it really costing you. You can still, within the other 4 days in that week, complete everything you need to do to stay caught up. Unless you're an alchemist. Unless you're an alchemist. An alchemist is going to have the desire to press a button every 4 hours. Or a few times every 4 hours. I think you will, because it will say bind on pickup and will work as a bind on pickup reagent. But the issue is that it's not strictly considered a bind on pickup reagent, which means it won't necessarily be mandatory for you to provide it. What you actually do want, though, is you really do want to make sure that you can provide it if you can, because you sure as shit don't want to be paying double. That's a great way to kill the market for the regular decks in the first place. If you then buy one of these and then want to upgrade it to one of these, if you then can't provide... Yeah, okay, that goes in the notes. That's a notes thing. Dark Moon decks, you will 100% want to provide a bind on pickup 372 basic deck if you own one. What other weird and wacky scenarios can we think of that could cause questionable outcomes? Do you reckon actually through recraft, it's not technically a recrafting though, is it, of the base trinket, because it's turning it into a new trinket? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, the Dark Moon decks is an odd one just because of how they work in the first place. Let me fill out my notes a little bit more then. So crafting orders. This isn't in any sort of order whatsoever, but just to you can craft you can submit and complete work orders for alts. That's easily going to be the #1 question. You can submit and complete work orders for alts. You can order BOE items and they stay. BOE. That's huge. Your next video will be huge. I mean, I think I'm going to sneak this into the title, I think. Can alt complete, you know, can alt complete crafting orders, question mark. There we go. There's the title. You can't recraft a 372 Dark Moon deck. There's no quality attached to it. That's actually true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Question is, will it use your Dark Moon deck if they don't provide it in the work order? No. The crafter would then have to have a Dark Moon deck to be able to fulfill that order. Any headline that ends in a question mark can be answered by the word no. That's YouTube clickbait for you. Okay. Questions, boys and girls. There's a bunch of you here. Throw some questions at me. What would be your crafting order questions? Which can easily then be answered. It would be nice to leave a message on a cancelled order as to why you had to cancel it, e.g. the skill was too low, craft mats or basic. Commissions. Auction house takes a 5% cut on commissions. That's definitely something people are going to know or want to know. It would be nice to know if it's region wide, but that's not answerable yet. That's a good question all the same. At this time, well, we just don't know, does it? Work orders are not okay. Horde can craft for Alliance and vice versa. Is that how you spell vice versa? I don't think I've ever typed the words vice versa. Horde can craft for Alliance and vice versa. Probably realm specific. Crafter.io is a park domain. Sad. Somebody's probably already bought it. What do you think is going to be the most profitable profession from crafting orders? That goes probably quite close in line to my tier list. Spoiler alert, probably blacksmithing, just because they make weapons, they make boatloads of profession tools and accessories, and plate gear is often a tank thing. I don't know. Easy, I don't know. Do you see there being a big benefit in shuffling professions the first week to gain artisan's metal? Then whatever profession you plan on making, learn it last. That's still feasible. They have actually dropped the demand for artisan's metal. You might have noticed that crafting orders, recrafting only uses 1 artisan's metal now. That's down from 10. That's a big difference. This is probably because they know that most people who don't have anything to do with crafting are not going to have much artisan's metal. Meaning that when a recraft goes out, people may be asking for things to be recrafted and not supplying the artisan's metal. If the crafter has to supply the artisan's metal, you really don't want to be spending a lot of it recrafting gear for other people, because most crafters want this to craft their own gear, to make their own profession tools. What I would suspect will be a thing quite quickly is that they'll become a somewhat universal price for an artisan's metal. I'm going to put forward something like 5,000 gold. Obviously, competition will push that down, but I would suspect people, you know, if you want something recrafted, it's going to be, and you're not providing the artisan's metal, it's going to be a minimum 5k tip before I would use my own sort of thing. But that's a value thing. It depends how much you value your artisan's metal. When it comes to rotating professions initially, like farming first-time crafts, you can make a lot of artisan's metal very quickly doing that, but it's also going to cost you a boatload because you're going to need to do that in the first day or 2 of the expansion. Conveniently, or inconveniently, I should say, when all of the materials are at their most expensive. So you are really going to have to really need some big reason to do it. And there isn't that many big reasons to do it. But it's one of those, right? It's a top 1% optimization strategy. Not one that I think many people will actually do, though. If you have 2 crafting professions, do you get 30 orders per day? Oh, that's a really good question. That's a really good question I don't know the answer to. 30 public order per day per profession. Has anybody currently on the beta, can anybody answer that? Would you get 60 public orders per day if you have 2 crafting professions?
Good to be of service.
Hang on, I can probably... That's a really good question. This dude should have enchanting and blacksmithing, I think. Let's get him to Valdrakken and see. Speaking of standard prices, I've seen a lot of talk about gold deflation in Dragonflight. I think there will be inflation, but thoughts? I don't feel that there's anywhere near as many easily accessible ways for people to make gold. Which is going to do a weird thing. Obviously, as soon as you start talking about economics, people fall asleep. But I tend to feel that if you have a lot of gold going into Dragonflight, you won't have many reasons to spend much of it. If you go into Dragonflight with a lot of gold, without a lot of gold, you're going to find it very difficult to make more of it. I know that doesn't strictly answer your question, but I do feel it will be the wealthy goblins out there are going to have so much buying power, it's not even funny. They will have no issue buying and affording practically anything. And it does tend to cause a problem, right? Because I don't really want to get too deep into economics here, but it trends very similar to how the real world works in terms of that if you have too many people with too much gold, their buying power dictates the costs of everything. Which ultimately, I mean, to sum this up nicely, it's a rich get richer and the poor get poorer situation. So, yeah, I don't really... that's probably a little bit too detailed an answer that most people would want, but the reality is that there's not going to be that many ways for regular Joe to make gold in the game. Very much deliberately designed in a way to
a satisfactory arrangement.
Designed in a way to push tokens, if I'm honest. And the obvious thing to look at there is that, well, if more people are incentivized to buy tokens, wouldn't that push the token price down? Well, also not strictly, because it's the ones that have lots of gold that will be more than willing to continue paying 300,000 gold for a token. So, yeah. What? You can currently fill 0 more public orders? Well, that was not what I expected. That was not what I suspected. Oh, is that maybe because I don't have any recipes that can actually... Okay, that's odd. What, You must be near a crafting table or for your profession to access crafting orders. Where's the blacksmith table? The blacksmith table's up here, isn't it? Can you specify a quality when posting a public order? No, that's equally a very good question that needs to be answered. No quality on public orders. Is this a blacksmith table? This is a blacksmith table. Okay. So reflects the current economy in the UK and the US. Interesting experiment. Yeah, I didn't want to go too deep into that because, like I said, you start talking about economics and people fall asleep. But the reality is that the buying power of the big goblins will dictate the price of most commodity items. What else we got? Can you recraft an item that you don't know the recipe for? Also a good question. Not one that I know the answer to. Or not one that I can feasibly work out how to do. That's something that may need to be answered when we get this on the test realms. Oh, well, Zanzaful appears. Welcome in, my man. Congratulations, by the way. Congratulations on being taken out the market. Congratulations on losing half of your wealth. However you want to look at it. For those that don't know, Zanzaful recently got married. What professions have the least amount of rep-gated recipes? Herbalism and mining. Fishing. I guess you're referring to crafted ones, though. They all have roughly the same. It's about between 12 and 20 recipes for most crafting professions are locked behind locked behind recipes. Did he lose half his wealth or gain half of hers? That's also a very good point. Yeah, that's also a very good point. I guess you'll have talked about the reset of commodities seen yesterday. Some things raised in price. It would not surprise me with pre-patch being a thing. If there's people out there doing a sizable amount of crafting right now. Dare I say it, legendaries are still probably popping off. I would imagine legendaries are still a big thing. As there's lots of people that have come back for pre-patch, lots of people that will be switching legendaries about just because they're playing with the new talent trees and more importantly you can do some weird and wacky things right now because you've got the combination of legendary powers obtainable through your talent trees doubled up against the fact that you could also have that legendary power on your legend. Some weird and wacky shit's going on. But it does mean that retail is probably doing some weird things right now. Did you sign a prenup for your gold? Zanzaful's just lost 50 million gold overnight. Item level 87, 233s and 262s and Legos are selling like crazy at the moment, so the mats are then following in suit. Yeah, I mean, mats will go up if people need to buy more of them to do crafting. That's just natural float. That's the natural float of the market. I also know you mostly focus on crafting, and I asked this the other day, but didn't catch the answer. Do we know what the raw gold generation sources are? What is it that's injecting raw gold into the economy this time around? Playing the game. Like, honestly, there's nothing, like, because they've got rid of the mission table, without doubt, printed probably billions of gold. And it was... This is why I kind of always felt the mission tables were a bit weird, and why I tend to feel that things like TLDR was a little bit overpowered, because you weren't strictly playing the game. You were logging on, pressing a button, and then 30 seconds later logging off again. The gold generation methods in Dragonflight is playing the game. Like completing quests, gathering treasures. Treasures are rewarding a lot of grey items. A lot of grey vendor trash. There'll be a lot more vendor trash that will be your generation of gold. You'll passively, by playing the game, make gold. Is it going to be as much, and is it going to be balanced to be the equivalent of doing callings or any of this sort of stuff? No idea. But the reality is that there's no system like the mission table that just... The mission table for most people was like a universal basic income for any level 60 character. It took you practically seconds to do, and boom, hey presto, here's a bunch of gold for free, basically. And that gold just steadily got more the more you engaged in it. But they've whipped that out the game, so... Yeah, I don't really know where people are going to make their gold. They're going to make their gold by A, actually playing the game on that character, presumably looting a bunch of grey items and then just selling them to a vendor. It has pushed a lot of people to look at gathering as a method of making gold, but there's a downside to that the more people that gather, the cheaper the prices of everything are. So, we don't know. This is one of those things. You can never test an economy without it actually being live. We don't know the answers to any of this until it goes live. But yeah. Actually playing the game is realistically going to be the one thing that might... Ooh. And your weekly quest. Your weekly quest is still a thing. Look, 2,000 gold on the weekly quest. And I was able to do that on a level 62, by the way. So, your weekly patterns quest, your weekly fill the bar quest is still a thing. There's 2k in one of those. Now, obviously, that's not really quite the same as 1,500 gold a day from a calling, but it's still a thing. But yeah, this is why I said that the goblins out there, or to be fair, the players out there that have a huge stockpile of gold right now will be able to just use that easily throughout the majority of the expansion. Players that don't need to make more gold will have no issues buying anything they ever want. Players who actively want to make gold to either pay for game time or to just buy shiny things are going to find it a lot more difficult to actually make it. Right, I might level up this dude for an hour or so. I think this is... Do we think that this is relatively definitive for crafting orders now? You can let's see if we've answered most questions then. You can submit incomplete work orders for alts. That's going to be a big thing for you know, for the altaholics out there, the ones that do want to play with professions. You can level up all of your professions slowly over time, and you can be crafting things for your alts and whatever. You can order bind on equip items, and they stay bind on equip. Could be quite an interesting way to cheeky order, get some, you know, orders filled for high quality stuff which you don't actually plan to use, you just plan to then sell it again. That could be a way of churning knowledge points. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's a loophole in that system somewhere. The auction house takes its 5% cut on any commissions. If there are commissions. Horde can craft for Alliance and vice versa. Work orders are probably going to be realm specific at the beginning. 30 public orders per day. A little bit undetermined whether that is per profession right now. Because my alt didn't seem to have any orders available, which I don't quite understand why. Wasn't the cut 5 gold, not 5%? No, the 5 gold was... There's a listing fee. There's a fee to post a order. Just like there's a fee... There's a deposit fee to place an item on the auction house right now. There's a fee to place the order. There's also 5% of the commission is taken. Out of curiosity, I wonder... Now, this is usually Programming 101, but...
Looking for something in particular?
If I wanted a bag... Okay, yeah, good. I was just checking that negatives don't work. What if I just ever so quickly negative 100? Okay, good. It's positive integers only. I was just checking. I was just wondering if you copy and paste minus 100 into there. It's a thing, but no, you can't. It's not New World. Yeah, Blizzard have thought about that. Yeah, okay. Positive integer values only. That's a good thing to see. Yeah, no quality can be specified on public orders. Some notes and some feedback is that it would be nice to be able to leave a message on a cancelled order as to why you had to cancel it, e.g. the skill was too low to craft, or the mat's too basic, or commission did not cover the cost. As I tend to feel that that might end up being the most likely reason why somebody cancels a work order. You gave me a 10 gold commission and it needed 1,000 gold of materials to make it. Your commission did not cover the cost. Try again. Crafter.io needs to be a thing. We need a 5-star Uber rating or a crafter.io score to, you know, to separate the men from the boys. Recrafting notes. Public recrafting will be dead on arrival if quality can go down. Yeah. Darkmoon Dex is just a bit of an odd one. Hacker tries to hack WoW on stream, fails. Hey, surely you can't get banned off a test realm. Isn't that kind of the point? Isn't that kind of the point of a test realm, that you're meant to try and break things? Are we all making me YouTube titles now? Crafters hate this new money-making method, yeah. Does the duration change the cost or the commission cut? Ooh, let's find out.
Right, straight to business.
So, let's say we want to order a piece of gear. I want to order myself a flame-touched helmet. I want to order myself one of these. Yes, it does. All the more reason to only ever use 12 hours. So practically it's very similar to the deposit thing. Just like posting an item on the auction, posting a crafting order works in a, you know, has the same principle behind it. I think there's some clearly super duper mega obvious questions here that haven't been answered. Oh, bind on pickup materials. Bind on pickup mats must be supplied by the buyer. Apart from artisan's metal. Apart from artisan's metal's the only exception to the rule. Who has to provide the optional reagents? Is there ever a scenario where the crafter would... Oh, that's an interesting one. But I guess by virtue of it being optional, right? If you want... Yeah, there's no way to request... That's a good point. There's seemingly no way to request an item to have certain stats. You can say, use these missives. So that becomes the choice of the person placing the order, doesn't it? If you want your flame-touched helmet, and you want your flame-touched helmet with very specific secondary stats, you have to provide those missives. So crafters aren't going to give a hoot about this stuff. This is probably then, because all of the missives are going to be purchasable on the auction house, you know full well that you know... You know this is going to be a thing. You know full well, within minutes, the note to crafter will be, you know, plus crit and haste, please. Truth be told, though, these are the kind of orders that will likely not get filled. Because most crafters will see this and go, you cheap scumbag, you didn't put a missive on it. You have the option for crit and haste. Go put a draconic missive of the fire flash on it. The downside would be is if the commission is juicy enough, it's just a lazy order, basically. But you know this will be a thing. And it'll be a thing because it's not super duper obvious, I don't think, to somebody placing an order. That's kind of one of those things that you would maybe see it more likely in a personal order. And a personal order, you could maybe get away with it a little bit more. because you would hope that the personal orders would also come with a sizable commission. Easy answer is that all optional reagents have to be provided by the buyer. Yeah, in that regard. Oh, that's actually true, because a crafter wouldn't then be able to choose. A crafter doesn't have the ability to add optional reagents after the fact. So yeah, all optional reagents are going to also have to be provided by the buyer. Oh, that's good. I actually like that. That will get rid of this, because it's not super self-explanatory, but that is the reality. That a crafter cannot come along and change these anyway. So what, yeah. If you don't, if somebody when placing an order doesn't use a missive, then tough shit. You get a random one. Okay, that actually. All optional reagents must be supplied by the buyer. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. What's the hammer icon? The little hammer icon is an indication to what any current listings are. So you can see here that people are playing with this, obviously. There is a 3 million gold commission for crafting one of these. With some of the reagents being supplied. Now, I can't see what those some are from here. I can't see what the some are, but I can see that something has happened here. I can see that these are in, and it puts forward the, you know, if I want my order to be filled, I need to be as close to the top of this list as possible. If there's 20 orders and you choose to put a low commission in, well, there's significantly less chance you getting your item, right? But like I said with this, I think this whole scenario is a bit wishful thinking all the same. Flame touched helmet. I'm curious now. Oh, hang on, that bugged out, didn't it? And that didn't go the right way. Flame touched helmet. So it did say that there was public orders for those, but apparently I can only see public orders for items that I can actually craft. Haha, or not. Haha, or not maybe. You only see public orders for the items that you have in your screen here. If you filter it and show all unlearnt ones, you can then see all of the orders for everything for that profession. So now this might be a way for you to then go in. This is you know, theory crafting now. You then may be able to go in and go, you know what? There's a lot of orders for flame-touched helmets. If you see 50 people putting in orders for flame-touched helmets, you can be like, I think I know which pattern I'm going to unlock next. This order, and you can go through to those orders and you can see everything's been provided apart from the 16 stone crust hide. No optional reagents have been used. So you could be like, well, you know what? I can craft these, even though I can't. But I can craft these. Or can I craft those, actually? Stone Crush. I would need Awakened Decay and Awakened Earth. And I would need to make a bunch of those, which I don't have. I was just wondering if I could sneaky 3 million gold here real quick. But that's quite interesting. You'll be able to see all of the outstanding work orders in some way, shape or form. It also now says I have 30 work orders I can fill again. So, yeah, I don't know how that works. Big brain put in lots of work orders for useless items to pivot the competition wrong. I love how goblins' brains work. Yes, that is feasible. Can you open the chat window with the person that requested the personal order? I don't think there's a way to, like, I mean, I mean, just /W. There's no. It could be quite cool to put a, little icon next to it so that you can just, message them, or an indicator to whether this player's online or not. That could actually be really useful if there was a little indicator to state whether the player was online or offline. If there, just a little red or a green dot or something to show if this player's online or if the player's offline, it may then help with filling the orders. Oh, this player's online, I can whisper them, or they're offline, well, I either fill the order or I don't, sort of thing. Maybe that's just a feedback thing. Online, offline, status for craft orders. I think it's self-explanatory that it's for craft orders. Would be helpful. Button to whisper would be useful. If they're going to push a system that is, indicative of communication, I think it makes more sense for you to be able to communicate, right? What this may also do is may allow you then, if you're a savvy crafter, and you're searching the public work orders, you could then, you could then say, if you are a savvy crafter and you are a good crafter and you can craft something at top quality, if you see a public work order in place but it's got a low commission, you could theoretically then whisper them and say, look, I can make this at quality 5. Will craft at quality 5 for plus 10k, say. And you can then see if you can convert that public order into a personal order with a higher commission. If you're a savvy crafter. But it's all based around communication at that point then. Didn't like that, did it? Okay, because some people are actually filling some of them. No, doesn't like that one at all. Hang on. Are we busted? Blizzard would never make it easy to contact each other because that encourages circumventing the auction house cut. Well, not if it's a bind-on pickup thing. This is the fact, right? If it's a bind-on pickup item you're dealing with here, you've got no choice. Your only choice is to use the work order system, so that doesn't really matter. If it's an endgame piece of gear, then you can't trade it otherwise. Oh, unlearn all orders. Is it such that I can see this order because it's a character on my same realm, on the same realm? But there seems to be an issue if I try and see an order for a character that's on a different realm. It seems to bug out. You can only view the status of orders for, so like here, flame touched shoulders, I can view this order. But if I go this lavish floral pack, oh, no, it's just bugged. It's just a bug. Okay. I do think that this could do with, I don't know how the reagents thing seems, because you could quite easily say, right, I just want to fill the ones that have got all on. Is this Mr. GM? Is this Mr. GM's? Can I film it? Okay, apparently it won't let me. Is Mr. GM online right now? Or is he lurking? He's not streaming. Crafting orders. Show unlearned. Yeah, it's still a little bit bugged. It doesn't like that, does it? Trailblazer scale vest. I mean, that is something I can craft. So not quite sure why that one doesn't work. It's clearly just bugged. Trail, what was it? A trailblazer? I can't even remember what it was.
Hello there.
Creed and 40, welcome in. How we doing? How we doing? Yeah, it's just bugged somehow. No surprises, there's bugs in the system. Chunky cut. Chunky cut. But yeah, this could be a clever way for you to kind of, you know, decide where you want to put your points in place. Because if you pool up your knowledge points, if you stack them up, keep them until you need them, sort of thing, you could arguably then look at the crafting orders that are outstanding and decide, right, I have enough knowledge points to unlock this pattern, and when I unlock this pattern, I could go out and I could make 3 million gold filling commissions. I know this is completely BS because it's test realms, but it's good to see. It's Sang from Liquid who put up the 3 million work order. Yeah, he probably just would actually quite like the item in the first place. So here it actually goes to show you that the recipe is unlearned, and not only is it unlearned, but it shows you where you can unlock it. So male armor crafting, male helms. I could then look at this and I could go male armor crafting, male helms. Okay, how many points would I need to get to unlock this? 10, 20 would unlock this. Technically, I could unlock this. The problem is I don't have the other materials to actually fulfill the rest of the order. Because I would also need 16 stone crust hide, which would require me to have a lot of awakened stuff that I don't have. Obviously on retail, I'd just go to the auction house and buy these, but... Okay. I think for the most part, I have a good grasp on what's going on with this then. So you can submit orders for alts, you can order BOE items, they stay BOE. There's a 5% auction house cut on the commissions, assuming there are commissions. Horde can craft for Alliance and vice versa. It's probably going to be realm specific. There seems to be a cap of 30 orders per day, but it's unknown at the moment whether that's per professional, per character. I suspect it's per character, you know. No quality on public orders, meaning that you just have to get something, but then you can have something recrafted. Bind on pickup mats must be supplied by the buyer apart from the artisan's metal. All optional reagents must also be supplied by the buyer. So if you want to specify the stats, if you want to up the item level, if you want to add an embellishment on it, that has to be supplied by the person putting in the order. It'd be nice to leave a message on cancelled orders as to why it was cancelled, e.g. skill too low to craft it, the mats weren't high enough quality, or the commission did not cover the outstanding cost. Crafter.io needs to be a thing. Public recrafting is going to be dead on arrival if the quality can go down. Darkmoon decks, just a very specific concern with Darkmoon decks, that you're going to want to provide a bind on pickup 372 basic deck if you own one. Online offline status would be helpful for dealing with orders. Button to whisper would also be helpful. I can't think of many other questions that people might have about this. Now, that's a dangerous statement to make because somebody will always come up with something that I've not thought of. Let me catch up on chat. They sell stone crust hide in Orgrimmar, and not on this realm. They don't. That's only on Valdrakken. That's on the fake server. If resourcefulness procs, then who keeps the materials? That's a good question. That's a good question. How do we think secondaries? Okay, yeah, secondary stats. We need some info on the secondary stats, don't we? There we go. See, I knew somebody would come up with a great idea. You can only craft an item if you can guarantee the quality required, e.g. rip inspiration. Inspiration is then going to be limited solely to your own personal crafts, which does present a bit of a problem to me, that it's kind of becomes very pointless very quickly. You can proc something better yourself, but when it's using bind on pickup materials, the chances of that inspiration is practically dead for crafting professions if this stays the way. I wonder, actually, once again, this is something that's difficult to test, but you can still, presumably, as a crafter, you can still choose to use lesser illustrious insights, and you can also choose to use... You can still, presumably... Hang on, if I start this order... This optional reagent slot can only be provided by the customer. Ooh. Now it becomes ambiguous. Because look. Whilst I haven't unlocked this, it also doesn't tell me that I can't do anything with it. I wonder if unlocking this would then change it to be grayed out as well. It's really difficult to test this when we can't cheat Zerg our professions. There was no request on this order. There was no request to have secondary stats customized, but I wonder if I'd unlocked the ability to do it, that maybe I do unlock some of this. I've got 30 points I can spend. Learn to use optional reagents to upgrade item level on most male armor. Is it in here? Okay, so I need 10 points in here to unlock this. We should learn to use optional reagents. Okay. Well, that's... okay. That is then going to contradict what I thought. That all optional reagents must be supplied by the buyer. That's not strictly true. All empowering optional reagents must be supplied by the buyer. E.g., what are the two? E.g. the Titan relic things. Titan. Oh shit! What are they called? Somebody, quick, remind me. I'll just call them Titan relics for now. Titan relics and primal infusion. Crafter can still use missives. Talking about the basic leveling item upgrade things. I still didn't actually finish the question about resourcefulness, did I? The issue is with that is I can't adequately test it because I, as a character, do not have any resourcefulness to even give myself the chance for it to proc. I will make an assumption, and this is an assumption based upon what I would believe Blizzard would want it to be the case, is that if you provide the materials... If you're providing the materials and resourcefulness procs, obviously you win. But if the order comes through with all of the materials pre-supplied, then I would go by the assumption that resourcefulness does nothing. I would imagine resourcefulness will only kick in for materials that you provide, but I can only guesstimate currently on that one. Mainly based on nothing more than logic, but that's how I feel that the game will probably be constructed. It does mean that inspiration is a real dumb skill for work orders, which weirdly makes it a basically dead stat for me for gear crafting, which is odd because it seems to be like that's the that's its big selling point, right? But inspiration is only going to really work for if you're crafting something for yourself. It's not even a guesstimation. The resourcefulness won't proc with materials that are not yours or not in your bag. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I suppose it's got nothing to proc on, has it? Yeah. I'm going to go by that's the safe assumption. I'm going to borderline call that a rule. You can only craft an item if you can guarantee the quality required, e.g. rip inspiration. This will make Q5 mythic super hard to craft. There was many I've been doing with enough testing of the professions, I've quickly come to realize that the mythic quality 5 crafted bits of gear are going to require you to have literally everything at your disposal, such that you are going to guarantee a quality 5 on a mythic piece of gear. your you need the best quality materials. You need all of your profession tools and accessories. You also, in many cases, need to use finishing reagents, which is going to have to be accounted for in the cost and the commissions. And those lesser illustrious insights, for reference, are only made with artisan's metal. Where's it gone? Illustrious insight, here we go. 50 artisan's metal at that. This is why I say that it might very quickly become an unwritten rule, or it may be a little bit realm specific, sure, but there will be... Crafters will have to attach a value to their artisan's metal, because there's no way you can get away from not using it for crafting and fulfilling work orders, at least in some part. What I'm scared about when it comes to work orders is how a buyer's going to figure out what's a good commission. Well, see, is they don't have really... what you may not have seen, Zan, actually, from earlier, is whilst there isn't really much to showcase... I've disconnected again. Is that going to have bricked my character? My character got bricked the last time. It did that exact same movement. When you place an order, next to the commission thing, there's a little icon that you can press on that shows all of the existing orders for that item. Now, of course, the common logic there is if you want your item to actually be crafted... what's going on here? Why am I invisible? There we go. If you actually want your order to be crafted, you're likely to want to put a commission that's towards the top of that list. Okay, not that one. What had the orders on it? There we go. So like in this scenario here, when it comes to putting a commission, you can see what other listings there already are for the item. Like we mentioned earlier in the stream, though, the issue with this is that I think this is a bit of... I think this is wishful from Blizzard that there'll even be outstanding orders. The only outstanding orders are going to be orders that crafters are not wanting to fill for some reason. But it still at least gives some hint, right? It gives some hint that, okay, there are orders out there for this item already. If I really want mine crafted, it's going to have to be towards the top of that list somewhere. What is maybe a little bit difficult to tell, actually, is if you then say, oh yeah, by the way, it needs to have one of these things. Hang on, let me check this on my other character. I'm just wondering if that list differentiates between the items. For example, does it show the list for the basic items? Does it then have a different list for the heroic versions? Does it have a different list for the mythic versions? If I want to order... Come on, where's the NPC gone? There we go. If I want to order a... What was it? One of these? Yeah, if I wanted to order a flame-touched Spolders, these are clearly the current listings for this. What happens, though, to that list if I say, actually, I want the heroic version? That list is still the same. So what this list doesn't do is differentiate between the different variations, which will mean this is actually it's a good thing for crafters that this list doesn't differentiate. It's good because it means that those people that want the top quality commissions are going to filter to the top naturally. Meaning that somebody comes along and just wants the basic one, may think that they need to pay these sorts of prices to get it. Which wouldn't strictly be true. So if I place this order now, what I'm interested in is if I now go and look for that one, what materials does it say? Does it give like a tag for heroic or mythic or... I'll let you do the handle all the math for crafted gear, and I'll do my consumables and farming. I've already got a lot of the maths on the go, Zan. My spreadsheet is getting there. Slowly but surely, I'm building crafting calculators already. Can I now go and see that work order? And does it differentiate from it being any different to... crafting orders. Oh, we'll just make that go. Boom. So, wow, that's interesting. That order I placed, it says it has none of the reagents. Well, that's a big stinky lie, because it clearly does have some of the reagents. It has the Spark of Ingenuity, the Primal Chaos, and the Primal Infusion. But then again, I guess those are things that have to be supplied. It still says none, because I've not provided any Wing Song, Plumage, Earth Spine scales, or any of the Adamant scales. So I guess that is still technically correct, that I haven't provided anything. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What I was kind of hoping is that there'd be some indication here, because these two... Oh, God, hang on. Now we're going to get into this issue again, aren't we? This is obviously for a basic one. There's no... What I think would be... I guess this is just a personal preference thing. But I would kind of like another tab almost, or at least some indication. Maybe even if it's just an on hover tooltip to indicate that this one is actually somebody. Not that it really makes much difference, but this is somebody that wants one using a primal infusion, because that's also going to jack up the recipe difficulty. Is that me just being fussy, or is that something that would actually be helpful for people? Because when it comes to filling commissions, I guess it's all a price. Like, at the end of the day, it's all a price thing. I don't think I really care in any way, shape, or form what quality of item the person actually wants. If they're going to give me more money to do it, I'm going to do the top commission ones first, I guess. You only want to pay 500 gold? I don't care if you want a heroic one or a mythic one or what you want. I don't care. You're not paying me enough, I guess, is the actual theory behind it. Yeah, what you do, there's a little pop-up here. So like this one that's provided some materials, it shows that they've provided some quality 3 of the scales. Is that they've provided quality 3 scales, or that's the item that's still outstanding? No, it showcases what they have provided, not what's missing. Is that the right way round? Do we not think it would be more... Do we not think it would be more helpful for people trying to fill orders to see what is missing, not what's being provided? Because that's going to make a bigger difference. That, I think, is going to make more of a difference. Or is it? Oh, like here you can see, oh, shockproof gloves. Oh, they have provided the artisan's metal. But we're still missing Rockfang leather, Earthshine scales, and this. Okay. What's missing would seem to be easier to read. Yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's a personal preference thing, isn't it? I think it would be more useful to me in many cases to see what was missing, so I know what I need to provide on that order. And in fact, yes, it is going to make, it does make a lot more sense. And let me explain why. It makes a lot more sense to see what is missing, not what's being provided, because I need to do some quick napkin maths. I need to look at the commission, and I need to say that, right, well, if it's missing X, Y, and Z, but they're offering a commission, that's the maths I'm doing as somebody looking to fill an order. I couldn't care less what they've provided. I don't care that they've provided the scales for this. I need to know that there are what is the commission they're offering and what's missing. And then I need to, you know, minus one from the other to see if there's any profit left in doing it. I think that's the wrong way around. I think it makes a lot more sense to see what's missing, not what's provided.
Are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Adati, thank you very much for the Prime Gaming. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. That goes in my feedback section. Seeing what is missing is more important when browsing searching orders. Not what has been provided. Boom. Do you have a window of time to craft an order, like reserving one? Yes, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. If you accept an order, within 30 minutes of accepting the order, hang on, let me see if there is any. Do I have any personal ones? Ah, okay. I've run out of test material. People, send me orders, please. Anybody on beta, send me some orders, even if they're just guff, just fake ones. I need fake ones. Anything leatherworking. Basic shit though. Yeah, when you accept one, it basically takes it off the marketplace, and it gives me a 30-minute timer to fill the order. If it doesn't get filled, it gets cancelled and it goes back on the listing. Public orders having no quality doesn't help casual players engage with the professions. But is that the goal though? That's not false. But is that really the goal? Is their goal to get people to engage with the professions, or is it just to allow people to get a piece of gear? You can always have that piece of gear recrafted at higher quality at a later date, if needs be. I don't think having I don't think the quality thing is much of an issue. What it does do is it allows you to differentiate yourself. It allows you to differentiate yourself from just the general public and say, right, I can craft X, Y, and Z at this quality. Send me a personal order. Don't bother putting it on the general market. Send me a personal order. What it doesn't do is promote the use of the public marketplace very well. But I think at the same time, it's also a little bit easier just for regular Joe to just say, right, I just want one of these. I just want one of these. Give me one of these. In most cases, I think it's more important to give people an easy way of getting the item than it is to give people an easy way to fully customize it, if that makes sense. How can I make numbers appear on the life bars like yours? Mine is just a green bar without the percentage. It's in the settings somewhere. It's one of the new settings. I can't remember exactly where it is. It's somewhere. If you bars, display, personal resource display. Add health and resource below your character. Or status text or something maybe. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. It's an option. Oh, there we go. Interface, status text, sorry. There we go. Numeric values, percentage, both or none. Your name autofills in personal orders. When I started typing Ranthius and it filled it for you. Hey, nice. If a work order is accepted and cancelled after 20 minutes, does the customer lose 20 minutes from their order time window, or will the 20 minutes be added back on? I would assume that it just depletes that number by 20 minutes. I think you've got to have a real bone against somebody to... I know what you're getting at there. I think you'd have, like... You'd have to have a real bone to pick with somebody to lock away their order until it expires. Does the crafted item appear in the mail? Yes. Once an order's filled. Once an order's filled. Here we go. Thank you, boys and girls. Once you pick an order, you can start the order. What that then basically means that order is now taken off. If it was a public one, that order would be taken off the marketplace. You see there's a little timer here. Time remaining 30 minutes. So you have time to go away and just, you know, do what you need to do. If you need to go and sort out some of the intermediate materials, if you need to sort out some of the reagents, you can. There are some reagents, for example, that need you to go into like a dungeon to a very specific crafting table to make in the first place, which may have issues there. But the other side of the coin is that you could always just buy the materials you needed off the auction house, maybe to fill the order in time. But you fill the order, you get the materials you need, you craft away. I could be generous and use higher quality materials, although it makes absolutely no sense for me to do it. I'll use the most basic materials I have available to me because I can still make a top quality one and no quality was requested. Once everything is in place, once you meet the requirements of that order, you click create. Off it goes. Bish bash bosh. The item is made. What you will notice is the item is not in your bags. It did not put an item in your bags. It will have taken the materials from you to use it, but you don't still technically have this. You now just need to complete the order. You can leave a note to the customer. Don't really know why this is too much of a thing, but plus crafter.io score. Please have a nice day and come again. I don't know what the real benefit of this being is, but I'm sure people will get a 5-star rating on Yelp. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure this will come into play in some way, shape, or form. You know, I'm sure people will be creative, you know. I'm sure there's many reasons to put this in here. Wowgold-buyer.com. Well, yeah, there's also that. But then you complete the order, you get the gold, or the commission, I should say, and that item will then be sent off to the person in question. Got to do that self promo. Hey, you got to do it. You got to do it. If I place the work order, do I need to have the materials, or does the crafter have to have the materials? There's choice. The only restriction is that if it's a bind on pickup material, you need to provide it. The only exception to that rule is artisan's metal. How's the limit on the work orders set up? Well, it seems to be that you can only fulfill 30 public work orders a day in a 24-hour time frame. But it does seem to be that they will replenish quite quickly. So, because I've done work orders on this character and already it's back at 30. So I'm not quite sure, but it could also be bugged. It's probably bugged because when I log out and log back in, it probably resets the counter because, you know, beta issues. Per character, I assume, or maybe per profession. That's what I can't tell at the moment. I don't know. I've only got leatherworking on this character leveled up, so I don't know. But that's about as much as we can fathom from this. What I think I'm going to do, boys and girls, because I'm actually a little bit pushed for time today, is I'm going to probably end the stream here for today. We've broken this down, I think, in about as much detail as we can. And it doesn't look too bad. I do have some big question marks still to how it will be received by the general public. But I do think that it's at least somewhat self-explanatory. The fact that when you go to place an order for something, you can say, right, well, I want a piece of mail gear, and if I want one of these, then I have to provide this. You must provide this reagent. You must provide this reagent. I'm quite glad that they've made it blatantly obvious that you must provide those reagents. And the fact that it's, you know, a tick box situation to whether you provide some of the others. I'm glad that they've at least done something like this to showcase, just to incentivize people to actually put a commission, because this is one of the biggest problems overall with the entire system, is that people are incentivized to pay as little as possible. Is that a goblin problem? Yeah, it's totally a goblin problem, but it's also the linchpin of why many people bother with professions in the first place. Most people don't necessarily play about with the professions just for the fun of it. They usually do it, at least in some part, to make some gold out of it. Otherwise, they'd go do something else in the game. But yeah, I think it's quite self-explanatory. It allows people to just put orders for stuff. What it doesn't really do very well, I think, is filter out or guide you into scenarios that are even feasible. But there will still be a little bit of frustration, I imagine, with some people of having orders not filled and them not understanding why. Why is that lazy ass crafter not filling my order? I don't know. We'll have to see.
Hello there.
Zinc, thank you very much for the work orders. That's all good. I will play with those. You'll probably end up being nicely featured in today's video. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for today, boys and girls. Over the weekend, I don't think we'll be streaming so much over the weekend. But I will do my best to keep up with the YouTube side of things because people seem to be enjoying the videos. But I want to put this into short form video format today, and I'm limited by time because I have IRL commitments later on today. So I'm going to leave it there. Jesus, there's 237 people in here. Okay, that's a lot more than usual. Welcome in, boys and girls. Hope you've enjoyed the stream today. If you haven't already, click the follow button. We're live virtually 3 to 5 times a week. I would love to say every day, but we're not live every day. 3 to 5 times a week. We usually stream here over on Twitch. But of course, you can always catch us over on YouTube or jump in the Discord. There's loads of people chatting all sorts of World of Warcraft and goal making stuff over in the Discord at the moment. So come say hi. But I'll leave it there for today. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and if I don't see you before, a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all in a few days. Have a good one. Peace. And welcome in, Jack.